Fuck yeah, man. Life's about fucking moving forward, my babies. I had a bad week. I wasn't happy this week. I had a sad week. But it's about going on, and I was like, I don't even know. This is why I did the podcast today, because I didn't think I could do it yesterday because I was in a fucking foul mood for a week. And today, I woke up, didn't feel so good still, but I knew the babies were out there listening, and I want to thank you guys for being with me, man, because I wasn't happy this week, and I didn't know how I was going to do this, and I did. I did my shows. I got through Toronto shows. I got through all those shows, and I fucking did it because I'm a professional, dude. You got to do it. Did I feel good in my heart when I was doing it? Not really. But the audience still, was happy that I came out. And thank you for that. It's fucking tough, man, performing when you're, like, not in a good space. Like, I'm not, like, right now, like, trying to do this podcast when I'm just, like, when there's some weight on my shoulders. It's fucking hard. It really is hard. And it's hard, this isn't, I know this is a comedy podcast, but it's also it's also every week, and it's also me, it's a version of me, but it's also me sometimes. And it's hard to shake that weight off sometimes and just go and do comedy for you guys, especially when I don't know what I'm going to say. If I know what I'm going to say, if I'm up there and I do my stand-up and all this shit, and I'm out there doing the thing, I know how to make it funny because I've been doing it. But when I'm here and I don't know what I'm going to say, to get that feeling of happiness, because you kind of need that, at least for me, to do a joke, and I can trick myself into that a lot of the time when I'm performing because I already know what I'm going to say most of the time, or I can get into this loosey-goosey type of mode where I'm just like, fucking what matters in life anyway? Here I am fucking on stage bullshitting, and you guys are here. Thank you for coming. That kind of whole vibe, I can get into a silly space, but I don't have the audience with me right now. I've got Juan Fire and Ivan Get Rid Of. I've got some weight on my shoulders, and I'm still doing this here for you babies. And we got this log cabin, right, that I'm knocking on, and I'm trying. I guess I'm just saying thanks for fucking listening. Really. Because I've been thinking lately, too. Like, I never thought about, like, I've been watching Will Smith and shit on Instagram and just how great his family is, And I know Jaden a bit, and I met Will once, twice, and fucking Jada once, but like I don't know them, but I worked with Jaden. They're just great. They're great people, and I was thinking about Will Smith and like how you can look up to him. You really can look up to Will Smith. You can look up to guys like The Rock. You can look up to fucking Mark Wahlberg. You know what I mean? He's a family man, and he's waking up when he needs to. And I was thinking about me, about I'm just this motherfucker who talks bullshit on a podcast. And I do stand-up, and I talk about fucking dick jokes and shit. And I did this in-conversation thing at, what do you call it? Just for Laughs. And I don't know how this is going to sound, but I'm just going to tell you guys. I was out there, and this guy was talking to me about stand-up and about me and about my comedy and all that. And it was packed, there were like 200 people there. And the guy in the front row, they opened it up to questions. This guy in the front row, he's like, hey, I just want you to know. He said, I don't really have a question. I just wanted to ask if you knew. I guess it was a question. He says, do you know that like I like your comedy, like, I just saw David Brent, but like your comedy fucking has helped me get out of depression and shit. And I've had like dark times. And it really, sometimes your stand-up and your podcast has pulled me out of it and helped me out of that. And I wanted to thank you, and I was wondering if you knew that it happens. Now, that's fucking, I'm not trying to, obviously I know how it sounds, but my point is that I actually, as stupid as this fucking sounds, like, I don't think of that because I've been depressed before and I've had problems but I don't think about comedy really as an escape. I think about it as my life, I don't turn on a comedy when I want to fucking escape. I don't want to escape. my life is generally good, and I'm not usually depressed. But he said that, and between that and the weight that I've had this past week, it made me cry, and I'm crying right now a little bit, but I'm trying not to. But it made me cry a little bit on stage because it just made me feel really fucking good, and I wanted to thank that guy on the podcast too for telling me that, because I didn't think about that way. I didn't think about it that way, and it made me happy, you know. And I never thought about it truly in that way, because I just go on stage or I fucking do this podcast and I just fuck around, you know. And it's fucking fun as shit, you know. It's fun. I do it. I say this before, and I stand by it. I don't do comedy to make you laugh. I do it to make me not cry. And I guess it was ironic that it did make me cry in that moment, and it's making me cry now on this fucking goddamn comedy podcast. And that really fucking made me think, man, the rest of the weekend, because of the fucking shit that I'm going through, and because of what he went through, and how what I did pulled him out of that. And I started thinking about guys like Will Smith and The Rock, and how they're role models, and how I feel like I'm entering this new phase in my life where I'm an adult, you know. I'm not 40 or anything, and I always imagine myself as a kid, you know, because you're never as old as you feel. I mean, you're never as old as you're not as old as you're as old as you feel, I guess, right? And my dad said he still feels fucking young in his head, and he looks in the mirror and he sees fucking Dracula or whatever the fuck with gray hair, however old he is, 70. He looks in the mirror and he's like, that's that old version of me that I never thought I'd be. But I do feel like I'm entering a new phase in my life, and I want to be I want to be one of those guys, or I look up to those guys, and I don't want to be one of these fucking, you know, I want to be, I guess that guy. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I want to be a fucking somebody that, I guess people, don't just, I guess I want to help the world is what I'm saying. Not just in the comedy way. And I didn't think about that. I didn't really think about that until this past weekend. Anyway,